So I got an email from a guy that has a 58-foot Hatteras yacht. It's got twin 8v92TIs in it, and it's currently on the Tennessee River about 90 miles away from us. And as you see here in his message, he said that the engine started to smoke bad blue smoke, and he was using a lot of coolant, and then he put 8 gallons of oil in it, and he's only going 1,000 RPMs on it. So I told him I'd come down and take a look at it and see what we got going on with it. One thing about a yacht is the engine bays. There is not a lot of room. I was concerned if I'll have enough room to get around to do this or not, but he sent me some pictures. There's plenty of room on the backside. This front wall is removable here, so you got straight access to the engine right there. So we're going to remove that, but it's got a lot of living space inside, multiple levels. I think it has 4 bedrooms in it, or staterooms, whatever they're called. So it's quite large, and it's got a lot of living space in it, and it's a really nice boat. They just bought it out of St. Louis, Missouri, and he sent me a link to some drone footage they shot when they were leaving St. Louis with it. And they're taking the rivers down to Tampa, Florida, and they came down the Mississippi, went to I think he said the Ohio River, and then to whatever, and they're now on the Tennessee River and going through locks and stuff like that. So, but I thought this was really pretty footage of them with the yacht when they were leaving St. Louis. But anyways, I'm going to go over to where the boat's at, and we're going to take a look at it and see if we can figure out what's going on with this engine. So I drove the car over there through the backwoods of Tennessee. Not a whole lot between us and there. It's actually in Mississippi. It's across the border there. And there's a part of the TVA, so there's a lock and a dam and a hydroelectric plant on it. That was kind of cool. Part of the TVA system, but yeah, it was almost 2 hours drive. So here's the boat. They got this end slip here for at least a month, probably. We'll see, if not longer, depending on what we find out. My buddy Oz, the guy that painted my thing and helped me paint Lenny. He met me over here to help me out, and he came from Alabama there, so it was a couple-hour drive for him as well. But yeah, it's a great big boat. So he put that 8 gallons of oil in, and he didn't run the engine anymore since then, and he noticed that it was low on coolant, and he added a bunch of coolant to it. And then he checked the dipstick after adding all that oil, and there was still no oil on the dipstick. And then he thought, oh, maybe there's a lot of coolant in the oil pan, and the coolant is so high on the dipstick tube that when I added the oil, it couldn't come up in the dipstick because the oil floats. So I'm gonna take off this hose right here. This line, it goes from the airbox drains back into the oil pan, which they're not supposed to be plumbed like that anymore. It's not good for the engine. So I'm gonna disconnect this fitting here, and it goes right into the oil pan. So if there is coolant in the oil pan, it's gonna come gushing out. Is it okay to just go down to the bilge?
If it goes to that section, it should, as long as it doesn't, we don't want any oil to go out. That section, just the whole sump area, if it doesn't overflow the stringer in the back, will be okay. Some kind of curve in there too. It's oil I don't want to find the board and just break it. Not to say that most captains don't have a couple bottles of Dawn laying around.
Yeah.
It's got a little tint to it.
Well, I've been cruising 1,000 to 12, 15, 1,300, and we ramped it up. It started burning a little oil. I was putting in a gallon of a day, and we need to move up some speed to get to our next block in time. And I get up to about 1,600, 1,700. Lots of smoke. They're on us. We're gonna push it. Sit out there.
Yeah.
my opinion, those seals just don't last that long.
Well, we drained coolant out of there for more than 10 minutes. It was an extreme amount of coolant. But then when the oil started coming out, the oil was completely black. It wasn't milkshake, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But we stopped it there. So there's still at least another 5 gallons of coolant in the bottom of that pan that we're gonna need to pump out and get out of there. But we're gonna take a look at the airbox covers and see what's going on inside the airbox now. So he does have a pump where he's gonna be able to pump that coolant, and if any oil gets down in that little sump area, he'll pump that into a bucket so we can take it for recycling.
Last time I started it, I verified the emergency shut-off worked for me. Fired it up.
Most 92s don't even have that. So yeah, I noticed it had it on there. Can you jiggle your side a little?
Yeah, I'm trying to jiggle it. The top is not jiggling.
So does it mean when you pull that out, the oil's pouring out?
Yeah, well, engine oil don't get up here on its own.
Yeah, it's not gonna pour all out. It's gonna happen.
No, it's mostly.
It's gonna be a mess. I'm not
Maybe.
everything.
This video is sponsored by Extra. They make the super slim wallet. It's half the size of a conventional wallet, but can carry over 12 cards and cash. It also has built-in RFID protection. There's quick and easy access to your cards. You can access them all just by the click of a button with their signature trigger mechanism. This wallet is so small, it fits comfortably right in the palm of your hand. It makes it super easy to carry all of your essentials in this Extra wallet. Here I have the Extra Finder card. It's about the size of a credit card, just slightly thicker, but it's rechargeable and it works with the Apple Find My, so you can always easily locate your wallet if you've misplaced it. If you misplace your wallet, you can just click it to play a sound and easily locate it. The Extra wallet also has built-in RFID protection. The RFID blocking protects you from data theft and wireless skimming. You can also store additional cards and IDs in the backside, and they're still protected with the RFID protection. They have many different styles and designs to choose from. This one here is the Extra Parliament Classic Brown. It's a little bit different than the carbon fiber one I was just showing. Click the link in the description to visit the Extra website. Use our special promo code BUSGreaseMonkey to get an additional discount on top of the web sale prices. The Extra holiday sale is going on right now, so be sure to use our code BUSGreaseMonkey where you can save up to 50% off. And again, thanks to Extra for sponsoring this video. Well, quite a bit of oil came out of the airbox cover when we took it off. As soon as we cracked it loose, it was running out of there. And you can see how oily the sides of the pistons are in here. They're not supposed to be oily like that. They're very, very oily. We thought maybe the O-rings had failed on the cylinders, but that would put coolant in the airbox too. You'd see coolant coming down out of the top there, and it's not. So I'm thinking maybe the little O-rings that go up on the head, between the head and the block, maybe that's where it's coming from. We'll have to remove the head to see that. But we're looking at several of the pistons here, and it's not just the one. All of them are very, very oily on the sides. So here I got the piston down far enough where we can see the top of the piston, kind of see the firing pattern on it, and then if you look inside there, you can see the liner walls. They don't look horrible, but they don't look that great. This engine was rebuilt in 1991, so back in the 1900s. It's been a long time since it's been rebuilt. This turbo is particularly nasty looking, and it barely spins. I can stick my finger on it and flick it to spin it, and it just barely moves over. I should be able to flick it and it should spin for a few seconds, and it instantly stops. So there's no way it's giving the amount of boost that it needs to have. He said he can hear the turbo spooling up when the engine's running, but there's 4 turbos on this total between the 2 engines. So this particular one, you can see it, as soon as I spin it, it just stops. Yeah.
You can hear?
Okay, go ahead and turn it. Yeah. much oil on it. I can't.
Huh?
Let me get a towel and wipe some of the oil off of it.
All right. Yeah. Just hold it right there.
So these rings don't look so hot. Trying to get a good shot of it here for you, but yeah, they don't look so good. I'm starting to see a little bit of coolant in there too as it was going by. The water and oil mixed together. Yeah, those rings don't look so good.
Stay there. That's all good. What's going on?
No, stay there.
Huh?
Stay. So look at the top ring here on the piston. There's a ginormous gap. So obviously a piece of it's broken off. And then you can see where the explosion basically has been blowing by through there. So yeah, that top ring is no good. I don't know if the ring was stuck and it caught a little piece of it and broke it off, but yeah, that's definitely no good. Well, the next thing, if this was a bus, that I would do is I'd drop the oil pan and inspect the bottom end on it. With the coolant going through there, we need to make sure we didn't destroy bearings or if the crankshaft's not damaged, because the 92 series do not like water in the coolant in the oil at all. So, but the way this engine sits down in this hole, that's not possible right now to do that. So I told him I'd come and do that if they're going to take the motor mounts off and they're going to jack the motor up and raise it up and block it up. So that'll be higher so we can get under it. Another friend of his said maybe you can drop, the oil pan won't come out of there. You can drop it down and maybe use mirrors and do that. But I don't even see how you could roll bearings in and stuff unless it was higher. It's one thing about working on a bus, you can just climb right under it. This is a whole nother thing. So this is if they disconnect the drive shaft from it and then take the motor mounts off, they can raise the whole engine up, block it up. If they can get it up, 16, 18 inches, that'll make life a lot easier. You can pull the oil pan out. You can actually see under there. And if we have to roll, if you're taking the bottom end apart on this, you might as well just rebuild it at this point. Get the heads off. Let's see what's going on with the heads and go from there. One thing he also said, this particular engine was a lot more hard starting than the other one. So it was obviously down on compression and some other things going on too. So he just wants to rebuild it. I told him I'll help him do this. So if they get the engine jacked up, they're going to take all the accessories off of the motor, get everything, the manifolds off and everything, have it ready for me to just pull the head on it. I'm going to come back down there later this week, pull the head, and then we're going to inspect the bottom end and see what we've got. But that's what needs to happen next, and they're going to do a lot of this work themselves too and get it prepared and make it a lot easier for us to get in there and work on it to help them out. So we will be rebuilding this engine, and this should be a pretty fun project to follow. Yeah, if you're a boat guy and you've worked on these before like this, let us know if there's any tips or anything that'll help us out. Obviously, getting access and getting room in there is getting the engine up is going to be the hard part. There's no hoist or anything. There's no anchor points on the ceiling to lift it. They actually, if you have these engines removed, you got to cut holes in the floor and have a crane come in and take them out. It was a big deal. So we're hoping we can just get away with doing in-frame on this, just get it jacked up high enough and have the access. But yeah, it's definitely tight. And Jonathan will come down and help me too. So somebody a lot skinnier on that backside will be nice.
up his tools, check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long, hard ride in old Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. With the propped up engine door, watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows them Detroits, there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town working on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lenny the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?